The University of Virginia is a world-renowned institution of higher learning. It tops both U.S. and world rankings, has alumni impacting the world in a variety of fields, and continuously offers rigorous, challenging, and diverse education. It also fosters a great community for its students to learn, grow, and interact with other students from across the world. I should know. I'm an alumna of the university, and when I saw a position available at the McIntire School of Music Library, I immediately jumped at the chance to apply. The Music Library holds the distinction of being the only working library on Mr. Jefferson's academical village, located directly across the lawn from the rotunda in Old Cabell Hall. It is a library designed for the students at UVA, as well as for music enthusiasts all around the world, with over 135,000 books and scores available in the library and online, and over 500,000 tracks available online.
The good old song of Wauwau, we'll sing it o'er and o'er. It cheers our hearts and warms our blood to hear them shout and roar.
That was the first part of The Good Old Song, UVA's most well-known victory song, performed by the a cappella group The Virginia Gentlemen. It is a song that I was able to easily acquire from the Music Library website. The facilities also boast recording and practice studios, new instruments, and music lessons. The library has state-of-the-art equipment for recording, as well as for using outdated media like laserdiscs and vinyls, though you could make the case that vinyl is no longer considered a dead technology. Above the library, you have a world-class venue that has hosted some of the world's greatest musicians and performers. The Music Library is living up to the words of Thomas Jefferson, the university's founder, who once said, quote, "Do not neglect your music. It will be a companion which will sweeten many hours of life to you." The Music Library at UVA exists primarily for the students, and its resources, recording studios, practice rooms, and concerts are for their benefit first and foremost. I have selected 2 classes offered by the music department to illustrate how the library can be used as a primary resource for UVA students taking music courses. The first class is the History of Jazz, an enormously popular class at UVA. The History of Jazz fulfills a core curriculum requirement for students in the College of Arts and Sciences and regularly exceeds its 500-person registration limit. The primary objective of the class is to survey the history of jazz music from before 1900 through the stylistic changes and trends of the 20th century. The class covers everything from jazz instruments to different types of jazz, to the leading musicians like Armstrong, Coltrane, and Ellington, to listening lessons. It ends with a look at jazz today. Here is a selection from the History of Jazz class that is available on the University of Virginia Music Library. It is Duke Ellington's melody, Toot Sweets. This class has a heavy workload. I did not take it while at UVA myself, but remember the friends who did were constantly listening to different jazz standards, attending concerts, and using the resources at the library. The music library plays an active role in the history of jazz. Listening is the primary source material for the class, and Professor Scott DeVoe works with the music library to provide these resources online to listen to and study throughout the course. All required recordings are available to students through a secure link on the music library website. Outside of the required listening, the McIntyre Music Library offers access to Tom Lohr's jazz discography, which is featured prominently on our website and allows the user to pick from a multitude of jazz recordings from all over the country. The class requires 3 writing assignments about jazz composition and composers, as well as 3 in-class examinations. For these assignments, the library offers an extensive collection of jazz history books, as well as study space for all students. A pro tip for students: the library has a great selection of Professor DeVoe's own works and writings, which are a great resource for his class's papers and tests.
Finally, the history of jazz has a concert component, where all students must attend and review 2 jazz performances during the semester. At first glance, it may be difficult to see how the library can help with concerts, but it can. The library is located in Old Cabell Hall, where concerts are held on a near daily basis, jazz or otherwise. Charlottesville is home to an amazing array of jazz musicians, and the music library offers a large collection of Virginia jazz recordings, over 10,000 songs. Many of the recordings feature artists that are still actively playing around grounds. I would encourage students to take a listen to what we have to supplement their concert reviews. In addition, the musical department is proud to have John DeEarth as the Director of Jazz Performance at UVA. Professor DeEarth is a world-renowned jazz trumpeter who has performed with a wide range of musicians, from Miles Davis to the Dave Matthews Band. He plays every Thursday night downtown at Miller's, but can be seen frequently in our library, working and engaging in conversation with history of jazz students.
The library is an essential resource for students in the music department's largest class, but it is also instrumental, pun intended, for those who are majoring in music at UVA. The next class I would like to use as a guide for students who are using the music library's resources is the Music Major Core Class, Theory 1.
For all those majoring in music at UVA, Theory 1 is a requirement. During this 3-credit class, students will study pitch and formal organization in European concert music of the 18th and 19th centuries. The class includes 4-part vocal writing, 18th century style keyboard accompaniment, key relations, and form. At the end of the semester, students compose numerous short passages of music and study significant compositions by period composers.
This is a class that is for majors in the music department, and as such, the library provides much different resources than it did for the History of Jazz class. Students in this class will need practice space, instruments, and recording equipment, in addition to books and recordings to listen to. Fortunately, the music library at UVA provides all of these. The music library provides portable recording equipment so that students, be they music majors or in another department in the university, can record at home or around grounds. There are also private recording booths in a variety of sizes and with multiple different instruments, all of which are free of charge to rent for students. Though please do check with the librarian before you set up shop in one of these rooms.
In Theory 1, students will need access to European concert music from the 18th and 19th centuries. The Listen to Music portion of the Music Library website is the perfect place to start. In addition to the jazz standards mentioned earlier, there is a large collection of classical music and classical music performances. The Music Library also has both digital and physical copies of scores that can be analyzed and studied in person or on the computer. Studying these scores, as well as other materials and resources, is easy with the University Library System, Virgo. Here, I have an example of a search for classical music scores by Mozart in the Music Library, yielding 20 results. Virgo will also tell you if an item is checked out, saving the student a search for any item that they won't be able to find. My personal favorite 18th century composer is Franz Joseph Haydn. Here is his string quartet in C major, Opera 76 Number 3, also found on the Music Library websites.
The resources available at the Music Library at the University of Virginia are vast and incredibly useful to students in the music program, to those who are taking private lesson, or to those just interested in using the facility to grow their music knowledge on their own. It would be my privilege to work in such an established and impressive collection, to grow its existing special collection of wedding music and traditional Jewish music, and to curate newer collections that focus on the richness of Virginia music. Thank you for this opportunity to present to you today.